Welcome back to the next lecture. In this lecture, we are going to learn how to install WordPress on our Xampp. So basically, before we get to that, I want to go through some bits and bobs with you guys. So at the moment, to install WordPress, WordPress has few, so there is wordpress.org and there is wordpress.com. I want to kind of explain the difference between them two because some people kind of misunderstand them. WordPress.com is a service provided by WordPress, which means that you subscribe to their services for you to have a WordPress CMS that they provide to you. However, WordPress.org, this is an open source platform which you can download and use the files on however you like it. Okay. So to so unless you want to buy the services, please do not choose this. And sometimes when you select WordPress, when you just Google WordPress online, this gives you the first option. This is because it's an ad. So please avoid that and always read what it's saying and always choose the one that says .org. This is the only one that you can actually download the correct WordPress version. However, in here, you will not be able to do so. So I will close this and leave this page here. In here, we have to install, we have to download WordPress into our Xampp folder. Now, to do this, we have to press while downloading it, we have to then go to our Xampp folder and then we have to click on our htdocs, and then in here we have to create a folder. So we are gonna call this Terry, just gonna call it for now, and in there we are going to install the WordPress site. Okay, when the download is completed, we are going to now open this folder and uncompress it. Okay, so now that we have got we have got it all downloaded. So now what we want to do is we are going to unzip, which is extracting. So I'll delete that. In here we have all the WordPress files. I'll cut that and then I will bring it back here and then I'll remove this folder. So now that we have this folder, okay, so now we have to now configure the folder to the database. So just to give you a little bit of idea, heads up, so if I just copy Teddy and go to localhost 8080/Teddy and press enter, this is gonna bring me the WordPress. Oh, excuse me, I haven't started. Okay, so we have to make sure that Apache is started, and I'll just refresh that once more. So we always need to make sure that if we're running it, we need to make sure that we start our Apache, otherwise it's going to turn off just like I did. So on our first installation, it's technically guiding us to tell us what to do. We need to get our databases ready, the username, password, and the host, and we need to get the web. We need to now save it to the web config. Okay, the web config folder is here. So there's a web config folder sample. So all we need to do is double click and untick that. Okay, so now that we've unticked that, we need to now open this on a, a notepad or a code editor, whichever one you have. So we need to fill these gaps with the credentials of the database. Now, we obviously have not set database yet, so that which means that we need to get to the stage of the database now. So we need to come here. In here, we can see the MySQL. MySQL basically is an SQL database server, which basically we can save our databases in it, and we can query our databases from it. So we can click on admin, and this in general, 1 second, it's because we need to change the port as well. So if I just click on 8080 and then I'll click on this, then it brings us to that. So you might also find an issue like this. This is because of the port number. So if I want to change this as well, I will need to configure the port number with my in, which I don't really want to do at the moment. So I'm going to create a new database and I'm going to call this database Teddy. Okay. And then I'm going to leave it as general, and then I'm just going to say create. Now this is create me a database, but now what I need to do is I need to create a username and password. So I'll go on privileges. In privileges, I have two options. I can either create a new user or I can actually use the root one. The recommendation from me is creating a new user so you can differentiate it from each other. So in here, it's telling me that it can accept only text field or any. So in here, I'm gonna say Teddy as the username, so it makes it easy. This is just a local host. What this means is if you leave it there, it's gonna just give you as a local host this. So in this password, I'm just gonna use a generic password, which you can select any password that you do prefer. It doesn't have to be what I decide. I don't think my passwords are correct. Okay, repeat that one. Okay, and then leave it as a native, and basically I'll just use the same password here. Okay, so this is just telling me to generate it. This is the password. So I'm just gonna say yes, give it to all privileges, and I'm gonna check everything here. Okay, so when this is done, all you need to do is click on go. Okay, so the password is created. So we open a notepad. So I'm just gonna open a fresh new notepad, and I'm gonna paste these credentials in so that I can put them in properly. So we have our username as Teddy. We have our database name as Teddy. Okay, so I'm just gonna copy these. I'm gonna come back here. So the database name, so database name is Teddy. The username is Teddy. The password is this random password that I've decided to use. By the way, please use your own password because these passwords that I'm using are random. And that's it. And then save that. And when you save that, you come back to your WordPress. So if we just go here and say Teddy, okay, so it's asking us to for all this information. So what we do, we say the site name is Teddy, and the username I'll just give it as an admin, and I'll set the same password I set before so that it's easy for us. I'm just gonna use a general a non email doesn't work, but we'll just use it for now just to get everything ready. Okay, so the next step basically is to install everything. So if you notice, it's already been installed. So now we can log in to our WordPress with no issue. So this is how to install WordPress without an issue. I hope this is simple enough. If not, please do pause it, go back to what I did before, and if you have any questions, do let me know. Thank you.